I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Did I do it? I think I did it. I'll have to check. Cluck, everybody. Got a special treat today. Special treat. I had never heard of these. Somebody at the farmer's market had them. They are called pink-eyed peas. They're like black-eyed peas, but with the pink eye. And from my understanding, they're a little bit creamier and sweeter than black-eyed peas. But, you know, I'll let you know once I try some. I will be blanching these. Just dropping them in some boiling water for a few minutes and freezing them. You could can them if you wanted to. I'm just choosing to freeze them. We will be using these most likely in like soups, and I'll definitely have some saved for New Year's. So, and you know, when you hold it, you just crack them open. Let me see if I can get here. Let's see, where's my camera at on here? There it is. So we got a pink eye in there. So exciting weekend, right? We had the assassination attempt on former President Trump. I don't know how you're supposed to address him. That's how I've been hearing him addressed. I thought we just called him President Trump no matter what, like after he left office. I don't know the difference though. But yeah, so that was crazy. It was funny because we had just got done with all of our chores and Saturday chores, and Saturday's sort of a physical day for us because my husband's not at work, so he's helping me with some of the physical stuff. So we had just settled down, and we put the Trump rally on actually, and then my husband was like, "Oh, my whole body hurts. I'm gonna go lay down." And I was like, "Yeah, me too," because my back's been hurting. I fell last week, so as soon as we went and laid down for a minute. I hadn't put any of the critters up. We were just laying down for a minute. And we put a movie on. And shortly after the movie started, but I heard both of our phones were in the living room, and I heard both of them, and I said, "That's weird. Both of our phones just got a text." And he said, "Well, mine might just be a notification." He said, "I'll go check." So he went in the living room, and I hear, "Holy crap!" And my head immediately went to like somebody in the family's hurt or something. So I mean, I jumped up and met him in the hallway, and he was like, "Trump just got shot," and I was like, I mean, oh my God, my first. Which there's been a lot of people predicting that this was going to happen. I mean, it was almost inevitable, I feel like, but especially with this political climate that we have right now. But yeah, it was crazy. So we of course get up and we start watching the news. After we realize he's okay and stuff, it was about the time that I usually put up my critters anyway. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go put the critters up and do a complete lockdown. Because, you know, we always keep our house locked up. But, like, I just wanted to make sure every single area was locked up. I'd never been, you know, I was born a few months after the Reagan, Lincoln, that would have been funny, the Reagan assassination. So, okay, just making sure my thingy's on. So I've never been in, I've never lived through an assassination attempt or obviously an assassination, so it was scary. It was a scary first time for me. And so we I went around and locked up that night. So my friend from Canada, Eddie, y'all see him in comments, Eddie Marles, he messaged me and was basically just like, hey, how's everything down there? And, you know, I'd mentioned that I'd locked everything up real tight. And he said, is that because you're afraid of riding? And I was like, no, our area is not going to be affected by riding. But our area is it's a rural area. And when bad things happen, which I, you know, worry about, people are likely to flock or retreat to the rural areas, and not all of them are going to have good intentions. So, you know, just to be safe, I just went and locked everything up. So yeah, that also leads me into something that I was planning on talking about today anyway. So we'll just go ahead and get into it. I want to talk about well, first off, I want to talk about why I hate the word prepper. Because I almost get offended when people say that I prep or that I'm a prepper, because there's a negative connotation with it. You think of some crazy person digging a hole out in their yard for a storm shelter, you know, talking about the end of the world and stuff. And that is what is associated with the word prepper, is people prepping for the end of the world. And that's not why I prep. So technically, I guess I am a prepper, but it's not like for the end of the world like some of these crazy people do. And who's to, first off, who's to say they're crazy? They may be right, but I do it for, you know, I started doing it prepping for winter. You know, I prefer to grow my own stuff for health reasons. You know, how many times can your romaine lettuce get recalled for listeria before you go, yeah, maybe I should grow my own romaine lettuce so I know that there's no listeria on it. So, so that's one reason. And like I said, the winter. Oh, I had a whole list of reasons that I was going to talk to y'all about. I forgot it. I think I can remember. So another reason why I prep is because you never, God forbid, we can't work for a little while, or God forbid, you know, lose our job, or, you know, whatever kind of financial struggles may come up in the future. You know, it's good to be able to say that you're not going to, you know, you have a little while before you're going to starve to death without any money. I've been not able to afford to eat in my past, okay? And it's not fun. So this is just a way that puts my mind at ease, just in case anything like that ever does happen. There's also, I mean, what happens when food lines and, you know, all that stuff. Remember the COVID quarantine. And I will say, I've been doing this since before COVID. And we were, other than toilet paper, we were good. I did not foresee the toilet paper thing. But we, you know, I make my own bread anyway. You know, we were pretty much set during that, except, like I said, except for the toilet paper. Now, though, you ain't gonna catch me without toilet paper anymore. I always joke and tell people, when I die and y'all go through my house and y'all find my big stash of toilet paper, just remember that I lived through the 2020 crap, because that's Misty. Just remember I lived through the 2020 crap because, yeah, I'm not a hoarder and I don't have like bad poop problems. I just want to make sure I have toilet paper next time we get locked down. Another reason why, and this is maybe like one of the main reasons why I do it, it makes me feel closer to our older generation, to my grandma, who, I mean, basically canned and grew her own food right up until she couldn't. And the same with my husband's grandma. I mean, you know, the older generation, You know, they did it because they had to. I mean, they would starve if they didn't. And it's funny. That's one thing that my husband's grandma said once when he asked her, "How did you live through the Depression? How was?" And she said, "We did it. We did all this stuff because, you know, we had to do it. That's the way we lived. That's the way we made it." And you never know when something like that's going to happen again. I mean, we could. Oh, so it's just good to be prepared. Now, in the back of my head, am I thinking also, if the end of the world happens? Yeah, I mean, it's nice to know that I'll be somewhat. Now, look, I ain't going to be prepared enough to last too long after the end of the world, but it's nice to know I'll be able to live a little bit afterwards. So those are like the reasons why I do the things that I do around here. It's very rewarding. It's not for everybody, and you know, and I get that, but but I went during the whole assassination attempt thing. You know, I was thinking to myself, I'm glad that I've already got started on this year's canning, because who knows. One thing I had on my list to talk about, because I'm just slowly making lists, I just keep forgetting to bring them out here. I did want to talk about, like, one of the reasons why I don't really talk true crime on this channel much. When I do, it's just in passing these days. I know a lot of my viewers or my subscribers come over here from the true crime genre because that's where y'all met me. And so many of y'all came over here expecting me to do true crime. And I appreciate you all for sticking around since I don't do it. But, you know, as much as I love still to discuss and research and go into true crime, and I feel like I have a pretty good insight on it, I just feel like there's so many channels out there doing it that I would like to just kind of this be a channel where you can, you know, look at some animals, relax, learn about some stuff about, you know, prepping, I guess, canning and some recipes, just a place to come and make you smile after you've been in that horrible world of true crime where people do these horrible, horrible things. And, you know, people, my sister says, I don't know how these people can do it. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing you don't know how these people can do it. Don't try to understand them. And that's what, it's weird. I think a lot of people in true crime do. They try to understand them. And I really come at it at an approach of, I don't want to understand them. I just want to put some pieces together. Because if you understand them, ooh, that's when I would say, if you understand like a serial killer's motive, maybe go seek some help. Because that's scary. Scary. So I actually do have a true crime channel, but I've never put it out there because I just don't know if I'm ever going to do anything with it. During the summer right now, I'm just so busy. Like right now, I've got so much canning to do in there. I did a bunch of tomato juice this past weekend. I'm going to be doing salsa later after I get done with these. And my kitchen is just such a mess because I've got jars that need to go down to the basement that have been jarred. I've got some clean jars waiting to get stuff put in them. My kitchen table just looks like something exploded all over it. And then, not to mention, like, the splatters. I've got splatters from all kinds of tomatoes, and I'm still finding blueberry jelly splattered all over my kitchen. I'm like, there's more. It's a messy business. You know, people always talk about how hard canning is, and you know what the hardest part for me is? Not opening the things immediately back up. Like, I just made so much tomato juice. I love tomato juice. I only love tomato juice that's homemade. I do not drink the store stuff. And the hardest part for me is to not drink all that tomato juice up before the end of summer. And It's last night I really wanted to, and my husband said, could you like make it last a week this time? I was like, yes, I'm gonna try. I could make nothing but tomato juice with all of my tomatoes and still not have enough that would make it last through winter for me. So this year I'm going to try to make it a very special occasion thing that I get it out. And most of the yellow boys I've decided to make salsa with. So that's I'm gonna do. Yeah, I've had a couple of jars of the just diced lemon boys, but it makes such a good sauce. It actually makes a really good marinara. It's a little bit sweeter than your than regular tomatoes. You don't necessarily notice it like if you're eating a lemon boy tomato sandwich. But once you start saucing it up and putting you know, cilantro, whatever, if you're making salsa, you really it starts bringing out the sweetness in it. It's really good. 15 minutes. Okay. We did it. 15 minutes. I'm keeping it right here. I've had very long front porch series videos here lately. I am considering doing a live. If you make it this far, make sure you let me know if you would be interested in a live front porch session. I feel sorry for anybody who has to listen to me play the ukulele live. Oh, by the way, I get lots of people wondering like why I don't finish a song a lot with the ukulele. I am not a great musician. I am definitely not a great singer. I know I'm not tone deaf, but I don't know why. I've never been able to sing. It's literally just a thing to, you know, because it's something we always did on the front porch growing up. So I wanted to incorporate that, bad voice or not. So that is why. Anyway, cluck cluck everybody. Pink eyed peas. I'm looking forward. I'll probably try some afterwards, so I'll let y'all know next week how they taste.